Hello, we are here with Dr. Smith, the new Lawrence Township School Superintendent. We will be interviewing him to learn his background, his views on Lawrence academics and progress, and his plans for the future. First, I would like to introduce myself and then have my fellow interviewers introduce themselves. My name is Cameron Grisby. I have been attending Crestview for 6 years. I am a soccer player and I enjoy doing hands-on learning.
Hi, my name is Nyla Gaither. I'm a 5th grade student here at Crestview. My favorite subject is reading. I played softball for 3 years and I was a dancer for 7 years.
Hi, my name is Arvin Harbert. I've been attending Crestview for 2 years. I like to read and write, and my favorite sport is soccer. Dr. Smith, would you share a bit about yourself?
Sure. I am a native of Indianapolis, born and raised here. Attended all my education here in Indianapolis. Graduated from Broad Ripple High School here in the city, and then I went on to Indiana University in Bloomington, where I got my undergraduate degrees and graduate degrees and doctorate degrees from Indiana State. So all of my formal education has been in the state of Indiana, boys and girls. And then as well as I went on to become a teacher. So by trade, I'm a social studies teacher. So I taught middle schoolers and high schoolers, and then went on and became an administrator in a neighboring district and became a principal, then went and worked in central office as a director, assistant superintendent, and here I am, your superintendent now here in Lawrence Township. Did I do that fast enough for you guys?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
You told the Indy Star that you have always been passionate about working with kids, that you became humble beginnings, that you came from humble beginnings, and that you were bright. What made you want to become a teacher?
You know what, I got to probably my sophomore year in college and I decided, what do I really want to do and where was my passion? And so my passion was always with social studies. I was always good at that. I think because my grandmother made me read books all the time. So I always read books that I was interested in, and so they were always social studies or current events, and so I just went with my passion. And then I decided, you know, I'm going to come back home and contribute to my community. So social studies, contribute to my community. I want to be a social studies teacher. And so when I took the job, I enjoyed it. I never wanted to leave the classroom. That was my first passion. Administration came later on, but that's where my heart was. I still enjoy social studies. Okay.
I read a summary of your doctoral thesis. You studied primarily white Indiana colleges in order to find out what they were doing to keep African Americans in college and graduate. What did you learn from your research that you can relate to Lawrence Township?
Well, you guys are really doing your research on doctors. You read my dissertation. I'm going to have to laugh, but you read it too. Did you find out? All right. Ooh, you know, it took a lot of my life to write all that. But what can I take away? And that is, I believe that all students can achieve. Students of color, all kids can achieve. And if we just come together and have a conversation about what we're doing, I think we can solve a lot of the problems with student achievement. But we have to have a belief system that kids can achieve. Mm-hmm. Do we really believe that students who are from poor or minority backgrounds can achieve at a high level? And I really believe that they can. I'm an example of that. So it's just a matter of finding the right niche and the right teachers and the right environment for those students.
What is the one thing that you learned from your work as Pike's assistant superintendent that's going to help you in Lawrence?
I think, first and foremost, they're very similar communities, extremely diverse. I've had the fortune of working on the north side for my entire career. I started, I started in Indianapolis Public Schools, but my first administrative position was in Washington Township. I was a middle school principal at Eastwood Middle School. I don't know if you guys know where that is, right across the street here on the other side of Allisonville Road there, and Bedford, and which I was principal there. So those districts are very similar. And so understanding students' background, the different type of demographics, all of that just melds well, and I think it'll be easy for me to come and serve the school district.
What is a typical day for you?
The typical day for Doc. You guys really want to know? You want me to take you through?
Yes.
I wake up early in the morning. I'm going to tell you about snow days. I wake up like 4 o'clock in the morning for those days, but Typically, I'm up about 5 o'clock, and I'm usually over here about 7:30 in the morning. If I don't have to take my daughter to school, I do have kids also. But 7:30, I'm usually in the office, and I'm usually briefing with my assistant as to what my day is going to be. And it typically starts very rapidly because I spend, for example, today I had a meeting with all of my administrators at the district office. And between that, I talked on the phone with someone from the federal government, and then I whisked off very quickly to meet with my deputy superintendent and assistant superintendent. Then I ran out of there and met with the high school principal at Lawrence North. Matter of fact, we had lunch. Okay, and then I ran over here around the corner to Crestview, and then I'm going to leave here and I'm going to meet with people, and then at 5:30 I've got a school board meeting. And that's going to last for a long time. So I have a full day. Some days I'm in the office 12 hours or more. So it's a very busy job, okay? But I enjoy it because I'm thinking about you guys and what we're going to do next to make you guys successful, okay?
What has been the hardest part of your new job and why?
Oh, I think the hardest part is, I think coming in new, people are a little hesitant to talk with you because they don't know you as well. And so I've tried to make a concerted effort to get to know all the people very well, so they don't think I'm going to bite them. Like the young lady that met me, she thought I was going to bite her when I came in, but I'm nice to her. But I did. Wasn't Dr. Smith nice? Yes. But so that people can feel comfortable. When you're new coming from the outside, people are a little hesitant to open up to you. But I think over time we will make that happen.
Now Nyla has some questions about academics in progress.
All right.
Okay, you told @geist.com that you were ready to roll up your sleeves, get to work, and ensure the success of Lawrence Township schools. You also said if we do what's right on behalf of the students, everyone in the school corporation will be successful. Can you give me some examples of what is right for the students?
What is right for the students is make sure that you guys have the very best learning environments, that you have great teachers that care about you, love you, give you everything that you need in order to be successful. As we matriculate or we move you through school, the ultimate goal is that all of you are going to graduate. And if we get all of you to graduation and off to college, because I'm a parent, I've got a daughter who's getting ready to go off to college. That's what we do for you guys. That's the most important thing in K through 12 education, is that graduating you at the very end. And that just doesn't start your senior year. It takes your first grade teacher all the way through to 12th grade to make sure that that happens. Okay.
I know that you've been an assistant superintendent. Now that you've been a superintendent for several months and have been able to see the schools in action, would you send your 3 kids, Maya, Jordan, and Olivia, to schools here in Lawrence?
You're really
why
doing
or
your
why
homework.
not?
You're doing your homework, aren't you? Well, I can't send Olivia here because she's a senior in high school. So she'll be graduating June the 5th, so she's gone. But Jordan and Maya, after we get settled, are going to come over here. I would absolutely put my kids in school here because all of you are here. This is a beautiful school. Look how beautiful this place is. Plus Miss Brown and all the beautiful teachers. I've been in every elementary school in the district.
Wow.
And I would say that I would probably put my kids in any of the buildings because I really believe we've got top-notch teachers here. And visiting the classrooms and seeing them engage kids and just the positive feel that you get from our elementary schools, as a parent, I'd feel comfortable putting my kids here. Okay.
I've been at Crestview for 3 years, and during that time, I have noticed many changes. Our teachers' approaches to teaching, the focus on academics, additional academic coaching staff, and Power Half Hour. During that time, my school changed its F rating to a B. What will you do to help Crestview excel to an A?
Well, I'm going to do everything in the world to support Miss Brown. That's first and foremost. Give her the moral support she needs and the resources that she needs to help you guys become an A. I'm also going to encourage the teachers. I'm going to show up regularly. I think I've been here a few times, so I'm beginning to learn the faces and really encourage our teachers to do good things with the students, because that's where it's going to happen. I think the teachers can do great things when they believe in the school, that they feel supported and feel the support from the community as well as from the superintendent, that they can do good things with the students. Do you guys think you're an A? I think you guys are. I know you can. All right, I know we can do it.
You told the Indy Star that your first focus in Lawrence was boosting student achievement and making sure each school meets standards. Now that you've been here for a few months, how has your focus changed?
My focus hasn't changed because I've been out and about in the buildings, speaking with the principals, learning how we do things at our district level, and I've challenged my people. Really, where it happens inside of schools is inside the classroom with Ms. Brown and her teachers. That's where my focus is, to make sure that we have all the resources and support in the school buildings, not over in my office. As a matter of fact, I could move my office over here. It'd be nice. I can hang out with all you good students, huh? All right.
Where do you see deficits and strengths in Lawrence School's academic progress?
I think for most schools, the greatest challenge is how are we going to meet the needs of kids who may have not been in our schools, that move in, that may be behind. I think generally speaking, if you've been in Lawrence for a long time, you're doing pretty well. But when students have to move in, that's very challenging because sometimes they come in behind. So that's our great challenge. And then also, sometimes kids, and I want people to understand this, not every kid's going to be at the same place at the same time. But in the end, that we can get all kids to improve. And if we do that, then we're doing good as a public school. I don't expect for all of you to know all the information today. But over time, I want every student to achieve so you can graduate from high school. Okay.
Now, Arvind Harbour will be asking you about your plans for the future.
Okay. All right.
We know from our research that most of your experience has been in middle schools and high schools, and that you have limited experience in elementary schools. What changes are on the horizon for Lawrence elementary schools?
Well, I'll tell you now, you guys have a great reputation with your elementary schools, your early learning centers, and the reputation of your elementary staff has been taken note by me. Although I've not been an elementary principal or teacher, I'm a big fan of elementary because I couldn't survive as a middle school principal unless I went back to my elementary feeder. So I have been around elementary teachers for years. You're very special. You have a certain skill set that is unique, and nobody better mess with it because you are a great group of people, because developmentally you guys lay the foundation for our kids. Without great elementary teachers, we don't get middle school, we don't get those high school graduates, okay? So my focus is on elementary. Because if we don't start here, we don't get you guys off to a good start, then it's very difficult at the next levels. Okay?
I started at Skiles Test and then moved to Crestview because Lawrence allows families the choice to select a magnet elementary school that appeals to their children's interests. Are magnets here to stay and part of your future plan?
I haven't had an opportunity to evaluate that. I think what I've seen I didn't know we were magnets to it really even after I became superintendent. But I can say that as long as the schools are performing very well, we're going to continue to do that.
Many school districts are looking for ways to keep students motivated and prepare them for a global workplace. What, if any, changes do you see or would you like to see Lawrence students?
Well, I'll tell you guys, one of the things we've done at the secondary level, we're going to look at it for the elementary, is technology. Technology is what takes you to that global, to that world level. And all of our middle school and high school kids are going to have a device. So we're going to look at that eventually for the elementary levels, because if we can bring technology in, just like what we have here, and you guys have a lot of bells and whistles here, then you're going to be able to compete, okay? Because we can take a computer and gain information and knowledge. Matter of fact, we can even talk with people on the other side of the world using technology. So that's going to be a key for us going forward.
Do you have, 2 years from now, I will be at Fall Creek Valley in middle school. My parents have been talking about whether or not we still stay in the Lawrence district for high schools. As my parents and I try to make the high school decision, what would you say to convince me to stay in Lawrence public school system?
I would say the most important thing in a public school is this is the real world. You're going to be exposed to all kinds of students and staff that are going to prepare you for the world. The world is Lawrence. We are the world. So if you stay here, you're going to have a solid foundation. As I meet some of the older students and their college choices and where they're going, they don't have to pay for a private education. They've got a great education here, and they're able to go to any college in the world. So, if you want to pay for private education, that's a person's individual choice. But in Lawrence Township, we're going to have you well prepared to go to any college or university in the world. Okay? Plus you can be around all your friends and all these wonderful students that are here.
Do you have anything to add?
No, I would just say that it's just a joy coming to Crestview. I love this building. The studio is just fantastic. And I think we've got some outstanding students and faculty members out there. You need to feel that. Regardless of what's out there being said about public education is still fantastic. It's still the best thing that we have going. I'm a product of the same type of schools that you students attend, and with hard work and dedication, you can go on and become successful. And teachers, keep doing what you're doing. Keep having the passion for your students every day and believing in them, because you never know where they may go or what they may do. Look at me. I'm a product of public education. How's that sound?
Sounds
Sounds
really
good? All right.
Before we end our interview, we would like to learn a little bit more about you and we have some questions to learn about your interests.
Okay.
What is your favorite sport and do you play it?
Oh, God, my favorite sport. I love all sports. My 3 children are heavily involved in sports. So my daughter played soccer all the way through. She just finished up high school playing soccer. My middle child's a volleyball player. She's heavily involved in it. My son plays 3 sports: basketball, football, baseball.
Wow.
So myself, when I was in high school, I played football and baseball. I was too short to play basketball, but we'll talk about that later. But I love those 2 sports and played them, and I coached them. But I think when you coach and you play, you kind of, generally speaking, you love all sports. So I'll sit down, and I never was a soccer person, but I'll sit down and watch a soccer match after my daughter playing, because I know the rules. They have different rules. You know that, don't you? So I'm still trying to figure out, but that's okay. They need to get more points for a goal, but, we do that for football. You get 6 points, but in soccer, you just get 1 point. But that's okay. But it's fun to watch different sports and to watch people compete.
What do you like to do in your free time?
In my free time, well, as I get older, take a nap.
I think that's what most of us do.
No, I do read. I love, my son has me playing fantasy sports with him, especially football. I really enjoy that. I love to travel when I have time. I've taken my kids all over the country, and we've gone different places. Remember, I'm a social studies teacher, so I like museums and different historic sites, so I love doing that.
What type of music do you like and why?
Oh, man. I'm stuck in the 1970s and 80s. I love some of this new music, but that's just because of my age. I'm kind of stuck in past, but I like new music as long as it's appropriate. It has a good sound to it, so yes, I will listen to Lil Wayne and what's the new guy now? 2 Chainz, but as long as it's not profanity in it, I'll just want to listen to it. But I love all kinds of music. I really do. If it sounds good, then I'll listen to it. Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Smith, for making the time for us to learn more about you and your plans for Lawrence Schools.
Thanks for watching. I'm Nyla.
And I'm Arvin.
And I'm Cameron.
Have a great Monday. Take care of yourself and stay responsible, respectful, and safe.